How do I pick the right college? How do I know if this or that college is any good? How do I know if a particular university will be a good value for all the money I'm going to spend? How do I know if I'm going to be happy on campus, that it's going to be a warm and inviting place for me to spend 4 years of my life? And how do I know that the whole experience is going to be worth it? That this university is going to provide me with the skills and the knowledge to launch me toward a successful future? That feels like a lot of pressure. I'm getting stressed out just saying all this stuff out loud. You know, people ask me all the time, Mark, what's the best college? And asking that question is a bit like walking into a giant shoe store and asking the salesperson, what's the best shoe? The shoe salesman really needs more information about you. What will you use these shoes for? Running a race? Dancing? Or mucking out the barn? What color do you like? What style do you want? How about the brand? Oh, and don't forget the size. And how about the price? Just like buying shoes, choosing the list of colleges to which you will eventually apply is less about the colleges than it is about you. What do you need and what do you want? Here at PossibilityU, you can think of us as your personal college shopper. We are helping you choose the colleges that fit, because when it comes to colleges, just as it is for shoes, one size definitely does not fit all. Now, how do you make that list? Well, you have to start by asking yourself a bunch of questions, sort of like that shoe salesman. If you're going to find the colleges that fit your needs and preferences, you're going to have a think about those needs and preferences long before you start looking at particular colleges. All these questions you need to ask yourself, we can sort them into 3 different categories, or buckets: lifestyle questions, academic questions, and financial questions. We find that by grouping the questions this way, and by taking the time to answer the questions, you'll begin to develop a much more complete and helpful set of criteria that will help you in your college search. Let's look at the buckets for a minute. The first contains all the questions related to your lifestyle. For example, where should your college be located ideally? Near home or as far away from home as possible? Should it be in the city amid a bunch of office towers? Or should it be in a nice little college town with attractive, architecturally harmonious buildings? Do you want a warm climate or a cold climate? Do you want a college where the other kids are pretty laid back and lead a balanced life? Or do you want a more studious place where most kids are serious about their academics? What about residential life? Do you want a campus where nearly everyone lives in campus housing, or do you want to live away from campus in your own apartment? What about activities? Are you interested in playing a sport or being a spectator? Do you have talents you want to continue or to cultivate while you're in college? Are there certain kinds of kids you want to be around or that you want to avoid? All of these are lifestyle questions. They are your personal preferences about the things that will help define your campus experience during your college years. And in some ways, these are the easiest questions to ask and to answer. But the questions in this bucket may not be the most important ones. In fact, here at PossibilityU, we think that the second bucket is way more important. And unfortunately, it's the one that a lot of students neglect to fully consider as they're searching for the right college. This is the academic bucket. At the risk of being called a buzzkill here, college is not all about fun and games and parties and living independently. It's not just activities and making friends. Nope. College is primarily about learning. And that involves tests, homework, writing papers, reading lots and lots of books, doing group projects, attending classes. Yet a lot of this choice is about learning. So we need to dig into the academic questions. Now, academically speaking, most websites and guidebooks seem to fixate on the question of which major you want to pursue in college. Now, for some of you who have known from the age of 3 that you've always wanted to be an archaeologist, a stockbroker, a nurse, a veterinarian, or what have you, then choosing a major may be relatively easy. As we learn more about the world and about ourselves, our priorities shift. In fact, some estimate that students your age will have as many as 7 different careers in your life. Not just 7 jobs, but 7 different careers. So asking about your choice of majors is a good question, but it's only one question in the academic bucket. Some of the more interesting questions in this bucket are about the educational environments that will make you successful as a student. Will you thrive in a large lecture hall with hundreds of students, or do you need a smaller classroom with only a few students and a professor sitting around a table? What about the curriculum? Do you want a college with a lot of structure where choices of what classes to take are fairly well defined? Or do you want to have complete freedom to choose whatever sounds interesting? And what about the level of academic challenge? Do you want a school that makes a lot of intellectual demands on you, or do you want something more laid back? Do you want your college experience to train you for a specific job? Or are you more interested in exploring lots of different subjects? Do you want a place that feels pretty competitive? Or do you prefer a place with a strict honor code that ensures that students are more cooperative and supportive of one another? It is really critical for you to consider what makes you a good student and what environments make you feel comfortable. Too many students ignore this bucket completely and end up in a college that is right for them outside the classroom, but completely wrong inside the classroom. And this is a large part of why so many students who start college in this country never finish. Nearly half of all college students do not graduate in 6 years, often because they choose a college that is not a good academic fit. So here at PossibilityU, we are going to encourage you and help you to sift through these academic questions. We don't want to just help you get into college. We want to help you thrive when you get there and to graduate with that diploma. Now let's look at the third bucket, which may be the most important bucket of all, the one with all your financial questions. How will I pay for my college education? How much does my family have in savings to invest toward my education? How can I get financial aid? Can I get a scholarship? Is the tuition price listed on these colleges really what they expect me to pay? Can I get a discount? What about loans? Should I borrow in order to pay for my education? And if so, how much? And how do I know this college is going to be a good value? That what I'm going to get out of it reflects the amount of money I'm going to pay for it? Of course, there are some people who don't have to worry too much about this bucket. But even though there are some families with the proverbial grove of money trees in their backyard, I have yet to meet anyone who wants to spend more money than they have to when it comes to getting what they want or need. PossibilityU's college admissions process starts with these questions in this bucket because the answers are so important to you in the long run. College is one of the biggest financial decisions you'll make in your life, and the long-range implications of this decision can be enormous. You are headed to college to experience all of the freedom of becoming an adult. But with that freedom comes the responsibility of becoming an adult. And you need to participate in the decisions about what you and your family are prepared to afford now and in terms of future debt. The good news is that once you and your family have really examined those questions, we will teach you the strategies and tactics to get where you want to be, finding a great education without losing the shirt off your back. Now, once you get all your questions sorted out into your 3 buckets, and once you have finally found answers to as many of those questions as you can go shopping.